Thank you. Thank you for that introduction and for giving me the opportunity to share Fagforbundet's work on divestment. Fagforbundet's solidarity with Palestine began in the mid-80s, but we started to work systematically in 2009. We asked ourselves, what does solidarity with Palestine actually mean? Our answer was clear: end complicity. Our message will be that Palestine is a test case for Norwegian and international respect for human rights and international law. Failure to respect rights in Palestine means weakening human rights and international law on a global level. Next slide, please. We want to end the occupation, but what can we do? What are achievable goals? It became clear that we have to concentrate on Norway. We need a strategy. We need a long-term commitment. We need human and financial resources. We need facts. From 2009, we started to financially support Palestinian organizations through Norwegian People's Aid. We established our own ambassador corps for Palestine. We started sending delegations to Palestine. We started a project to reduce and hopefully break the Norwegian ties to the Israeli occupation. Since 2014, we have supported 2 projects. Everything we do is fact-based. Beside the information we get from our Palestinian comrades and what we see with our own eyes, we base our work on our own reports, other organizations' reports, the UN database. A vital part of our strategy is to have continual dialogue with financial institutions. We use political pressure and online campaigns. And we believe that it's important to join forces and be part of a national and European network. Next slide. Our first fact-finding mission was to investigate our governmental pension fund, the 13 largest private banks and funds, and the 4 largest Norwegian municipality pension funds. We discovered that they were invested in 43 companies with activities linked to the occupation. Due to our resources, we decided to concentrate our efforts on investment in 8 companies and 5 Israeli banks. We launched a successful campaign against G4S in Norway together with other NGOs. Fagforbundet decided to stop using HP. We had meetings with financial institutions. In our dialogue, we drew special attention to Heidelberg Cement, CMX, and the Israeli banks. I would like to show you our bank campaign that we launched in 2020, which we will update this year. It's a website providing an overview of 123 Norwegian commercial and savings bank. Nearly all of them offer funds with holdings in companies that are involved in the occupation. The website is in Norwegian, but you can use Google Translate to see how we have designed the website. Customers can check their own banks and send a pre-filled email to the bank. The website includes the video, information about the campaign, the occupation, and bank responsibilities. We have also an online campaign against the Norwegian government pension fund global, also called Oil Fund. First of all, it's important to know why putting pressure on the oil fund is important for all of those who are attending this webinar. It is the world's largest sovereign wealth fund. Total assets, $1.3 trillion US, owns 1.4% of all global listed shares, with holdings in 9,100 companies worldwide. And notice, the fund is a global leader when it comes to ethical and responsible investments. We have some major challenges, but also opportunities. Best practice decisions are followed by other investors all over the world, most probably also in your countries. The fund follows international principles like UN Global Compact, UNGP, OECD Guiding Principle for Multinational Enterprises, but not the UN database, and that is a major challenge for us. From 2021, they started with pre-screening assessments, and this is a major victory for us. Active ownership is another opportunity for us. In 2020, they had meetings with 118 companies regarding human rights. The oil fund is used as a best practice example also in UN forums. But as the Don't Buy into Occupation report shows, the fund is also worst case not to be followed. The fund is heavily invested in companies involved in the occupation. We therefore ordered a report from 3 experts to show 1, the need for the fund to change practice, and 2, the need to follow their own ethical guidelines. This report was presented in the UN Forum for Business and Human Rights in 2019. To succeed in changing the practice of the oil fund, we needed to start mapping those who can influence. The oil fund itself, the Council of Ethics, the Committee on Ethical Guidelines, Parliament, the Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We also started mapping those who can indirectly influence: International Fora for Business and Human Rights, UN Special Rapporteurs, the UN Committee for Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, Norwegian trade unions and NGOs, international trade union confederations. These have all been directly in contact with the fund. I'm happy to say that the strategy that we are using has been a success. Here you can see the exclusions that have been done since we started. And if you remember the names in our 2 first reports, you will find them amongst the excluded companies connected to human rights violations in Palestine. We have used Storebrand as our best practice to follow. They excluded 9 companies in 2016 and have continued with new exclusions. Last year, GLP followed in Storebrand's footstep and excluded 19 companies. A major victory was also the 5 exclusions done by the oil fund this year. I'm also very proud to announce to you that we just got our first Don't Buy into Occupation victory this year. A Norwegian asset manager has excluded Booking.com from all their funds. So that is bravo for that. So what have we learned all these years? Be patient. There are no quick fixes. It is not enough to be right. Exclusions is the last option in UNGP, and UNGP is not binding. Dialogues means continually bringing new information to the table. Our own credibility will be tested. Be aware that we always lack vital information. The financial institutions often have details from their human rights meetings with the companies that is not known or available to us. Point to best practice. Point out that investments with links to the occupation are a financial, reputational, and legal risk. Find the balance between work behind the scene and naming and shaming. Join forces, Don't Buy into Occupation have been a real boost for the work we do in Norway. Let me come back to the question that Fagforbundet asked ourselves in 2009. What does solidarity with Palestine actually mean? Solidarity is a verb. Therefore, please join the Oil Fund campaign. Send a pre-filled email to the Oil Fund and be a part of the pressure that can end global complicity with occupation. And you will find the link in the chat. I have come to the end of my presentation, and thank you so much for your attention. Please feel free to get in touch if we can be of assistance in your campaigns. Thank you so much.